The cold wind bit through the layers of coats and sweaters as the December sun hovered low over the sleepy town of Elmsworth. At a nearly deserted bus stop, a man sat hunched over on a bench, face buried in his hands, shoulders trembling with each silent sob. His name was David Miller, a once successful architect, now lost in the fog of personal tragedy and failure. Everything had unraveled in the past year, his wife had passed in a tragic accident, his business had collapsed, and the weight of loneliness had become unbearable. David barely noticed the crunch of tiny boots against the icy sidewalk. A soft tug at his coat startled him. He looked up into the curious brown eyes of a little girl, no older than 6, holding a tattered stuffed bear. "Why are you crying, mister?" she asked gently. He opened his mouth, but no words came. Instead, a fresh tear slipped down his cheek. The girl blinked, her face wrinkling in concern. Without waiting for permission, she stepped closer and wrapped her tiny arms around him. David froze. The hug was warm, unexpected, and real. Her tiny body radiated something he hadn't felt in months, human kindness. "It's okay," she whispered. "Mommy says hugs make the pain softer." He broke into a sob, returning the hug with a quiet desperation. Before he could say more, the girl's mother called to her from across the street, waving with a nervous smile. The girl pulled back, offered her stuffed bear for a moment, and said, "You can borrow Mr. Buttons. He helps me when I'm sad." Then she ran to her mother, leaving David alone, stunned and clutching the bear. He never forgot her. 15 years later, in a bustling city 3 states away, Sarah Collins nervously reviewed her notes. Fresh out of college, she had been invited to the final round of interviews for an elite architectural firm, Miller & Company. She had heard legends about the firm's founder, a visionary known for designing eco-friendly urban spaces, but she hadn't expected to get this far. Inside the towering office building, she was led into a spacious corner room with floor-to-ceiling windows. A tall man with salt and pepper hair and kind eyes stood to greet her. "Sarah Collins, is it?" he asked, extending his hand. She nodded. "Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity." He smiled. "Please, call me David." They spoke about architecture, her inspirations, and her senior thesis. But something strange happened halfway through the interview. David's eyes kept returning to a locket around her neck, a simple heart-shaped piece. "If you don't mind me asking," he said gently, "what's in your locket?" She opened it to reveal a tiny photo of her 6-year-old self, hugging a stuffed bear. "Oh, that's Mr. Buttons and me. My mom took this right after I hugged a man at a bus stop. I don't remember much, but she always tells me how proud she was of me that day. She said I gave hope to someone who really needed it." David's breath hitched. He reached into his drawer and pulled out a carefully preserved, faded stuffed bear, missing one eye, but unmistakably Mr. Buttons. Sarah gasped. "Where did you, how?" "That man was me," David said quietly. "Your hug saved my life. That day, I was going to end it all. I had no one, nothing left to fight for. But your little hug, your warmth, it reminded me that people still care. That maybe, there was still something good in this world." Sarah's eyes welled up. The room seemed to blur, time folding in on itself. "I've kept this bear all these years," he continued. "And when I saw your application, I recognized your name. I had to meet you." Sarah was speechless. David stood and placed the bear in her hands. "You changed my life. Let me return the favor. The job is yours, if you want it. Full scholarship for your masters, too. And a mentorship." Tears spilled down her cheeks. She nodded. "Yes. 1,000 times, yes." Months passed. Sarah thrived under David's mentorship. They often joked about destiny, about a universe that gently tugs people back together. She brought fresh ideas to the firm, he brought patience and wisdom. Their bond deepened into something more profound than mentor and mentee. It became family. One evening, while working late, Sarah turned to David. "Why did you keep the bear all these years?" He smiled, staring out the window. "Because it was the first sign I ever received that the world still had a place for me. It reminded me that one small act of kindness can echo through someone's life forever. I owe everything I rebuilt to that moment." Sarah reached over and squeezed his hand. Years later, David retired. Sarah took over the firm. She continued his legacy, designing spaces that brought people together, building not just structures, but community and hope. And on her desk sat Mr. Buttons, still slightly worn, but now framed in glass with an inscription. "One hug can change a life. Never underestimate the power of kindness."